Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Hey, my mother's paying attention. She's right here in the front row, 89 years old, a little hard of hearing, but she is able to... Thanks, Mom, for being the prop for me to get everybody to settle down a little bit. Appreciate that. Good evening. Thank you all for coming tonight. My name is Bernie Flynn, and I am proud to be the CEO of Mercer Street Friends. Okay, that's a great start. That is a great start. I want to tell you a little bit about Mercer Street Friends because I had to learn myself more than 4 years ago before I started with them. We are a Quaker-based organization and have been serving Greater Trenton and the Mercer County region since we opened a community center at 151 Mercer Street in the Mill Hill section of Trenton, and some of you went there tonight before you got here. It all started in 1958. 66 years later, we have been able to provide tremendous service to our region. We have more than 60 people focused on supporting our communities in the area of food, family, and education. We've come a long way since we first opened our doors at 151 Mercer Street. Mercer Street Friends is the food bank for Mercer County, which is why we are in this space tonight. This facility will help support our strong network of food distribution agencies for decades to come. And we were fortunate We were very fortunate to have acquired this facility. In fact, the prior owners, Howie Dumhart and Steve Matejka, and their wives, Edie and Nancy Lee, are with us tonight. And it was our mission and old friendships forged at Trenton State College, now TCNJ. Those relationships were forged with our COO, our Chief Operating Officer, and our Food Bank Director, James Butter Allen. And that was the difference for closing this deal. And now we count Howie and Steve and their respective families as among our staunchest supporters. There's a TCNJ magazine that talks about our journey. Butter is on the cover. And you can take this article home with you when you're leaving tonight. If you see Butter, you ask him for an autograph, he'll give you an autograph because he is our Mercer Street Friends cover boy right here. Mercer Street Friends is also the lead community school agency in the city of Trenton, and we partner with the school district leadership to provide additional resources with regard to academics, enrichment activities, physical, mental, and dental health services. Plus, this year, we opened food pantries and family resource centers in each of our 3 public schools. We continue to run robust summer programs in those same schools. Our objective is to remove barriers to learning and provide academic and emotional boost to our students. I'll take applause for that. And I think you're going to also want to applaud our outstanding preschool, and we have preschool folks sitting over there. Best preschool in the Trenton School District. We're also have a very supportive GED program for our adult learners. And with regard to family services, our support programs are an integral part of what we do. Our case managers work with more than 100 families at any one time, assisting them in many different ways to help them establish a loving, supportive home environment while maintaining a roof over their heads and keeping food on the table. And keeping food on the table is why we are all here tonight to recognize New Jersey Assembly Speaker Craig Coughlin. You're going to hear a lot about him, as you should, because of his deep commitment to ensure that our neighbors in New Jersey have access to nutritious food. No family should have to choose between a roof over their heads, clothes on their backs, or food on the table. And our national leader in this effort to bring food security to every corner of our country is Claire Babineaux-Fontenot, CEO of Feeding America. We appreciate her being here to help us honor Speaker Coughlin and his leadership. Before I invite Claire up here to the podium, I would like to recognize other elected and appointed officials and food leaders in the room tonight. We have with us State Senator Shirley Turner, State Assemblywoman Verlena Reynolds Jackson, State Assemblywoman Shema Hader, State Assemblywoman Tennille McCoy, County Commissioner Sam Frisbee. Where's Sam? Mercer County Executive Dan Benson was here before. He couldn't stay, but he's a terrific supporter of ours. I also want to thank the county commissioners and Dan Benson for proclamations that have been issued to Claire and to the Speaker on this recognition tonight. Also, Princeton Mayor Mark Frieda is with us. East Windsor Councilperson Denise Daniels. Where's Denise? Ewing Council Jennifer Keys Maloney. Where's Jennifer? She was with us earlier. And Sarah Stewart. Where is Sarah Stewart? She's a leader in so many ways. All the way in the back, she's on Ewing Council and is also one of our Mercer County food leaders as the leader of Homefront. I also want to recognize, although I did not see him in the room, our first ever New Jersey food security advocate, Mark Dingleson. Is Mark here? Well, let's give him a round of applause even though he's not here. He had some personal complications earlier in the day. We also have New Jersey Food Bank CEOs here. Jill Lombardo from the Rural Development Corporation. Jill, where are you? There you are, Jill. Thank you. Mark Valley from Norwest Cap. Fred Wozniak from the Food Bank of South Jersey. Triada Stampis from Fulfill. And Elizabeth McCarthy from the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. We also have Mercer County food leaders. I mentioned Starra Stewart. I'd also like to recognize Joyce Campbell of the Trenton Area Soup Kitchen. Where's Joyce? David Fox at Arm in Arm. Where's David? Way in the back. Barrett Young from the Rescue Mission. Where's Barrett? If he's not here, this is for the Rescue Mission. They do a great job. Greg Paulson and Matt Broad from the Trenton Health Team. Thank you, gentlemen. We also would not be here without the support of our sponsors. In particular, I would like to thank our presenting sponsor, my favorite insurance company, NJM Insurance Group. We have Board Chair Ned Stern and CEO Mitch Livingston right here. Our benefit sponsors, Capital Health, Bob Holt and Ann Irwin, thank you. Award sponsors, Selective Insurance and Bank of America. Thank you, Bank of America and Selective. And also cocktail sponsors, Johnson & Johnson, Sobel Bixel, Princeton Land Rover, and Merity Hancock and Greg Chotner. We thank all of our sponsors for their tremendous support tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very appropriate that Claire Babineaux-Fontenot is with us tonight. Our honoree is the most consequential statewide elected official in the battle against food insecurity in the United States. And to recognize him properly, we have the most consequential national leader in the fight to end hunger in this country, Claire Babineaux-Fontenot. Since 2018, Claire has been the CEO of Feeding America. In 2020, she was named among the 100 most influential people in the world by Time magazine. And in 2022, Forbes recognized her on its 50 over 50 list. She is a trailblazer and a compassionate advocate for social justice and a hunger-free America. Ladies and gentlemen, Claire Babineaux-Fontenot.
Wow. No, please. Oh, my. You know, my life comes with a soundtrack. And now the sound of chairs on the floor will be among the things that now, whenever I hear that sound again, I believe I'll have a rush like the one that I just had, a feeling of deep, deep privilege. And I feel so humbled that on an occasion like this, when I have the opportunity to be among heroes of mine, that you would see fit to applaud me, when the best parts of me are the ones that I get to use alongside you. Wow. You know, I wanted to look over to Bernie early on and say, yo, Bernie, I made it. And he was talking about journeys of 60 or so years, and actually mine is a journey of 60 or so years, Bernie. And I thought it was so beautiful, poetic even, that your mother's here. Because my journey begins with my mom in more ways than maybe are obvious. Before I was born, my mother learned that there were 2 little kids in a neighboring town who were struggling with neglect. My father was away at work from the way she told the story. When she heard about it, what I remember distinctly is the vehicle that she told me she jumped into. By the time I saw it, was an old blue Chevy station wagon. And she drove over to that neighboring town, and she picked those babies up, and she brought them home. By the time my father returned home, his family had doubled. But that would happen many, 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 many times again. As honored as I am to have the opportunity to speak to you today, I know what the greatest honor to speak I've ever had in my whole life. It's already happened. It was when I was allowed the awesome privilege to give the keynote address when my parents were inducted into the National Adoption Hall of Fame. My mother and father were the children of sharecroppers, brilliant, brilliant people who did not have the option of graduating high school. And yet here I am. They taught me and all of us in our family some powerful lessons that apparently New Jersey already knows. Lessons about the power that each of us has to make a difference. Lessons about the fact that whatever seat we sit in is a position of power that allows us these great opportunities to engage with other human beings, to see them as people, and to be a part of community with them. I said my mom and dad would have their family double multiple times. I'm one of 108 children. I often, when I have a bit more time, set that up by asking, anybody in here from a big family? No one ever guesses that I'm one of 108, but I am. I had the good fortune on this very morning to be in Neptune with the extraordinary team at Fulfill. And while I was there, I shared a few of these things with them. I'll share them with you as well. As you see, I've got 3 things that I need to do here tonight, and that's only one of them. The first thing that I'm here to do is to share my very deeply personal thank you for what you do in this community. I mentioned how deeply personal it was this morning. People ask, what does the face of hunger look like? And when they do, I suggest that they look to their left, that they look to their right, that maybe they look in the mirror. If they struggle to find a face, then look at this one. I am among the people that people like you have decided to embrace, to provide food and nourishment. In our family, we never had to be told when we were picky eaters to eat our broccoli because there were hungry kids in some distant shore, because we knew hunger was right here. And the vast majority of us in our family knew it keenly well because we experienced it. So thank you. What you do matters in really, really small ways with the smallest, teeniest, weeniest of us. And in really, really big ways. When you do this work, which leads me to the second reason that I'm here, you're a part of something that's big and awesome and wonderful. You are all a part of the Feeding America network that I'm a privilege to be a part of. And this network, in the middle of a global health pandemic, and I just want us to remember 2020. Supply chain disruptions, remember that? I remember being scared in 2020, not knowing what COVID was, couldn't even pronounce it, which one's COVID, what's Corona, what? And people all across the country, no matter what that meant for their own safety, people in the network that you're a part of, went into that space to make sure people had the food that they need. In 2020 alone, 60 million human beings turned to our network for help. And we together provided 6.7 billion meals. Wow. So I don't know if you can figure out what I'm trying to do here. Let's see if I can get back up when I try. Hold on a second. So I have to do that. And then this, is that the way to do it? When you're trying to give a standing ovation from a standing position, it makes it a bit difficult. And you, with that standing ovation, I hope that you weren't just applauding this one person who's trying. I hope you're applauding the millions of people all across the country who try. I hope you're applauding yourselves. Which leads me to the second point. What are you doing in the great state of New Jersey? Wow. I've been to all 50 states just during the pandemic. All across the country, Puerto Rico included. Just got back from the US Virgin Islands, in fact. And every place that I've gone, I've seen beautiful things happening. But there's something extraordinary happening here. There's a way that you're embracing each other. There's a way that you're working together. There's a way that you're grabbing down barriers. There's so much that we as a whole nation can learn from what you already know and from what you're doing. So if you're feeling like there's something special going on in New Jersey, it's because there is something special going on in New Jersey. You know, the whole nation rallied in a bipartisan way during the pandemic. And there were certain supports that were put in place. And we saw those supports take hold and have meaningful impact on people's lives. I was not surprised when I saw the statistics from the USDA looking at food insecurity rates for 2020. And that food insecurity rates had gone down. You know why? Because we rallied together as a country and we provided the supports that people needed, and we recognized that there was an emergency going on. But here's what's happening in New Jersey. When those supports started going away at the national level, food insecurity rates started going up. We now have national food insecurity rates. They're the highest they've been since the financial downturn of 2008 and 09. Many of those supports that we saw work aren't there anymore for people, and you're there standing in the gap as you always have been. But in New Jersey, you've got visionaries. You have champions. And now the most important reason that I'm here. And among the champions that you have is Speaker Coughlin. Whoa. Someone who decided, whatever it took, to fill in the gaps that were being left open, who reinforced supports that were working, who's investing in not just Feeding America food banks, if you will, but in all kinds of anti-hunger organizations all across this great state. I understand from Mrs. Coughlin that this might be a busy time of year for the legislature. And here you are, sir. And you're not alone, are you? Just sitting at your table. Are there other things you might have chosen to do tonight? In fact, in some instances, I think you did some other things before you got here. And you showed up. I am here to say thank you to all of you. I'm here to say thank you to each of you. I'm here to say thank you especially to you, sir. And I'm here to learn as much as I can and to take those learnings to other places. What you've done here can serve as a beacon for people all across the country. Part of my responsibility is to carry the message of your work to other places so that it can, in fact, be replicated. So it's my great, great honor and privilege to be here tonight and to celebrate a true legend whose work is not yet done and who's right here in our midst. And I'm not the only one who wants to celebrate you, sir. So hold on a second. I think there's a video.
Food insecurity affects every community throughout this whole country. I wish that I could report that any county in the state of New Jersey was immune to food insecurity. But to say so would be to say something that's not true. All across the state, there are people who, along with all the other things that they contend with, have the added challenge of trying to figure out where they're going to get access to food for themselves, for their kids, for their parents.
According to the USDA, food insecurity in New Jersey jumped from 7.4% in 2020 to 8.8% in 2022. And yet for all of our vaunted strength, food insecurity, which means the number of people that have to choose between feeding their babies or paying their rent, has gone up.
I think people think of New Jersey as a wealthy state or that certain counties are very wealthy, but there are pockets of hunger everywhere in New Jersey. And it's often invisible. It might be the family next door and you don't even know that they're struggling because they might have been fine even a month ago. But we know that many people are living so close to the margin and really living paycheck to paycheck.
I think somebody like Speaker Coughlin, a policymaker, a leader in the legislature, has an incredibly important role to play in the creation of true food security. We were in a meeting in his chambers, and I started talking about the importance of research and evaluation and data. And he leaned over the table and he said, "Just promise me one thing, Mark. I get the importance of data. Just promise me we're not going to treat people like numbers.
He is not there for his own ego or glory. That is not who he is. He works on policy. He's trying to make things better for the people in the state of New Jersey. From the very beginning, he knows that's his job and that's what he wants to do.
Thank you all for spending some time with me. It's a great place. I had a chance to talk to the kids a little bit as they waited in line, and it's just fun to be around them. It's Taco Day today here at Nathan Hale School. It's not what they used to have. First of all, I'm a staunch believer that there should be universal free breakfast and lunch. And I'll bet you'll agree with me because you said it before. When we get to universal free lunch, it'll help to eliminate the stigma that could go along with that, right? When everybody gets everything for free, some food may get wasted because some people won't take it. But the truth of the matter is people who really do need it will be more inclined to do it. It's a moral duty. We have to fix this.
In politics and in life, in any situation he's in, whether as an attorney or as a speaker or as an assemblyman or as a partner, father, whatever, his word is gold. When he says he's going to do it, when he says this is what he believes, when he says this is how it's going to be, that's how it is. He doesn't go back on his word. You can count on it. It's not going to waver, which is an important thing, and especially in this day and age. People are swayed by a lot of things, and he is not.
There's no broad constituency crying out for more dollars for food security measures. It is an issue that flies under the radar all the time.
Everyone deserves to have healthy vegetables, fruit that's available to them, and we want to ensure that we have the healthy, nutritious vegetables, fruit, as well as proteins and the whole healthy plate available for those in need. Our communities are diverse, and one healthy plate or shelf-stable food may not be acceptable in another community. So we're intentional in our procurement. With funding, allows us to purchase culturally appropriate and healthy, nutritious food for all of our communities. Each community is different from the other, so we do our best to ensure we are intentional in the communities that we serve.
Food insecurity is something that affects everybody. It doesn't care what color your skin is, what God you pray to, who you love. It's a human thing. It's about people of all sizes and shapes and colors and religions not being able to eat. I think we have a duty to help, and that's why I'm so interested. The reason that all of this commitment to other people, food insecurity, homelessness, hope, education, opportunity, the reason that matters so much is because it's good for all of us. It's not just good for the people that are being helped. It's good for the people who help because they're making a difference. But it's good for the people even who aren't helping, who don't really think about it. Because society works best when everybody is successful.
It's real leadership that we can see makes a difference to the people that we serve. The difference between having a grocery budget of $23 for the month or a grocery budget of $95 a month is a big difference. It really does take, the resources to be able to afford the best diets. And I think, that's an awareness that the speaker has that shows up in policy making, it shows up in legislation, it shows up in funding from the state of New Jersey because of his leadership.
New Jersey and Speaker Coughlin really made sure that the summer feeding programs this summer will close that gap. Many families, once school is out, really struggle to get meals for their children. And this is really making sure that all summer long, families will have some supplemental income in order to be able to buy healthy and nutritious food for their children.
Speaker Coughlin and his commitment to food security is game-changing for New Jersey. We're the only state in the nation with a food security advocate. To me, Speaker Coughlin has sort of embodied what we've been trying to achieve as the 5 food banks. Through his leadership, he's brought all of us together, not just food banks, but other food security advocates, bringing us all together so that we can fight for the people that we serve on a day-to-day basis.
Now, Speaker Coughlin is a guy I love. He is one of my heroes. I'm grateful for your dedication.
None of the great strides we have made in our fight against food insecurity would have been possible without the tireless dedication of Speaker Craig Coughlin. Craig, there is no greater champion for food security in the state of New Jersey than you, my friend. Thank you.
He's helping the entire state of New Jersey, and he is informing the President of the United States and Congress and all the organizations down in Washington, D.C., so that they know, what's going on in New Jersey and how food security needs to be promoted throughout the country. Thank you, Speaker Coughlin. Congratulations on receiving the Mercer Street Friends 2024 Humanitarian Award. Your leadership in the battle against food insecurity in New Jersey is unparalleled.
He has sustained his words through his action in terms of helping and supporting the food banks without the state of New Jersey. Congratulations, Speaker, on receiving this award from Mercer Street Friends of what an example of a true humanitarian is.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Thank you for your leadership and for using your position and your platform to change and improve people's lives for the better, and to make sure that something as basic as food is not out of reach for our neighbors.
Speaker Coughlin is a hero. He's a New Jersey hero. Congratulations from one grandpa to another. It is wonderful to see you leading and inspiring me to get up daily and lead this effort for those who are food insecure.
Speaker Coughlin, your focus on hunger changes lives. It saves lives. Thank you for leading this charge for food security across New Jersey.
Speaker Coughlin, thank you so much for your commitment to New Jersey families.
Nutritious food is the building block for everything that all of us need to thrive. Thank you for your investment in the children of the state of New Jersey, too.
Speaker Coughlin, on behalf of the Office of the Food Security Advocate and my entire team, congratulations to you on this momentous occasion.
Your journey, especially in the food insecurity world, is far from over. There is so much more work to be done, and I think you're the person to do it. I think you're the leader that they need. That has been shown in many ways, and I think there's a long road ahead that this work has to continue. And you have to be involved in it to make it go to the levels that it has been so far, and it can even go further.
I'm proud of the work that we have done together in the state of New Jersey. I'm proud that I have helped to make food insecurity a real, true priority in the state of New Jersey, because we can make a difference. We can win this fight. It's not like we have a shortage of food in the state of New Jersey. It's that we have challenges in getting the food to people who need it. And that's something we ought to be able to do.
So, I want to hear the music that is those chairs moving again. Let's please celebrate. As the speaker approaches, I'll ask my good friend Bernie to join me back here on the stage. And I'll take a point of personal privilege and suggest that this is not only an acknowledgement of the speaker as the Humanitarian of the Year for Mercer Street Friends. Let it be understood that you are the Humanitarian of the Year for our whole nation. Thank you for everything that you've done already.
Thank you for being here.
The sound is signature for us.
It is. That's beautiful.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much.
How do you follow that? Thank you. That's how you follow that. Thank you. Thank you, Bernie. Thank you, Mercer Street friends. Thank you all for coming out. Around this time of the year, I get a lot of awards. It has really very little to do with me and much to do with the budget. I become smarter, better looking, a great leader, true person of the people. And if you could just give me $2 million more, is usually the way that conversation goes. But this one is different. This one is really special. Let me start by thanking first and foremost my amazing wife who you saw. No one could have a better partner in life. No one who could have anybody who cares as much, who lets you do all this stuff, and roots for you every minute of every day. I was surprised. I didn't know they did. They got me. I didn't know they were at the house. By the way, Mercer Street friends did. You overspent on the video. Really, it's an amazing video. But I'm telling you, these guys were really, really good. They came to the office. They were there. It was incredibly professional, and I didn't know that they had my Tish or the boys or the Senator Booker and Governor Murphy. Really remarkable. It was really, to sit there and to watch that is truly to be humbled. The platitudes are just remarkable. You know, it makes you think of that scene from, I don't know, everybody see Saving Private Ryan? What a great movie. At the end, the older Private Ryan goes back to the cemetery where the Tom Hanks character is buried and asks the question, have I been a good man? When I see something like this, I ask myself the question, am I worthy? Am I remotely worthy of all of that tribute? You made me feel worthy today, folks. Thank you. Whether I am or not, you made me feel that way, and that's really good. I appreciate that. I want to thank my friends for being here. I want to thank my colleagues in the legislature who were here. Verlina, who serves on the leadership team, the senior leadership team. Shama, who came all the way from Bergen County. She's now the chair. You should get to know her, too. She's the chair of the committee that deals with food insecurity. Senator Turner, thanks for being here. My former colleague Dan Benson and Tennille McCoy, to Elizabeth and Mark and Fred and Triada, thank you for being here. Thank you for the work that you do. You all know how important this is. You all know how special what we do, those of you do, each and every day. Sometimes I get asked why I care so much about this stuff, and I do, I truly do. And so there's kind of a natural, so my dad died when I was 4, my mom raised my sister and me. And so sometimes people will think that we suffered from food insecurity. Absolutely not true. That would be an insult to my mother. We never once worried about a meal in our lives. She took nothing for herself, made sure her kids had everything. But it just pisses me off that people are hungry. I don't know about you guys. We're really lucky. The Coughlins are a really, really lucky family. You saw I have a remarkable family, Luckies. You ask me who I am, I'm really who I am. I'm the luckiest guy in the world, that's it. We don't ever worry about a meal. We don't ever worry about whether we're going to eat. We only worry about what and oftentimes where. But there aren't people everybody's not like that. Everybody's not that lucky. You all know that. And I've learned so much from you, and this is not nonsense. I learned from all of you. When I started in this thing, I had no idea. My kids went off to school, we were about the freshman 15. Any of you remember that? The kids had a meal plan, you're going to worry they would get 15 pounds. Demographics changed, times have changed. When I started to talk about food insecurity, I came to realize that kids in college, often single mothers, veterans returning from home, other people struggling to try to better themselves, they had to worry. And so we did a law to make sure that every school had a food pantry. And by the way, I get a lot. This is a great business. It's really, truly a great business. I've picked out a great career for myself. I work with an awful lot of smart people. Anybody who knows my staff knows that. I work with a lot of great partners, and I get all the credit. It's really, really good. So the governor, Senate President Scutari now, Senate President Sweeney before, all my members in the legislature on both sides of the aisle are people who have always embraced the things that we have done. And we really ought to be proud. Claire, I thank you for being here. Let's thank Claire. She's a true national leader, a real hero, truly a hero, and a real big shot. Like, I said, you came all the way here for me? She said, yeah. I said, holy smokes. Whew. I said, Mercer Street Friends really must have laid out for that one, too. I hope they paid for your first-class flight. She's a true leader, and the work that you do, that We Feed America does, is just remarkable. You're really a true champion to people, many of whom I guarantee don't know your name, will never be able to thank you, but are the happy beneficiaries each and every day of their lives. And that's true of all of you. All of you make a difference in people's lives each and every day. And all of us, all of you, I get a lot of credit, like I said. I get to be surrounded by people like you. Have the opportunity to make a difference in people's lives. Here's what I think you do. You meet people oftentimes at the lowest point in their lives. People, you know, is better than I do, that people often resist the temptation to show up at a food pantry because they just don't want to admit to themselves that they need it until they reach the point where they have to. And you meet them there. And I've been around to an awful lot of food pantries, and all of them now are welcoming. You make people feel good about coming there. You make them feel good about themselves. You give them the opportunity to get a little shopping cart and go around like they're at a grocery store. And that gives them dignity, and that gives them hope. It also gives all of us an opportunity, and I think this is one of the things that we have to do. Our next step is to recognize the opportunity it provides. Because we've now met somebody who's come to us and now trusts us, trusts you with the food pantry, gives you the opportunity to start them on a journey. And the first step is to come and get the food that they need. The next step is to make sure they come back and feel good about it again. You do that by treating them like they're a human being, treat them like they're special. The next step is to find out what they really need and tap them into the social structure, the social benefits network that exists and that they'd have the right to. You help them if they don't speak the same language. You help them no matter what their challenges are. And then you take them along that journey. You teach them what to eat. You help teach them, get them educated. You help give them a job. And when you do that, when you get them to the point where somebody who was once a recipient is now a donor, you've changed their lives. And when you change enough lives, you change the world. And that's what each and every one of you do every day. Give yourselves a round of applause for changing the world. You're special. You care. You ask for no thanks. I've gotten to know so many of you from being around, and I'm always impressed. I always do ask myself that question, am I worthy of this? People treat me like I'm a big shot. Yeah, I don't mind it, just for the record. Anybody who ever tells you they don't like being treated like they're special is either lying or has never been treated like they're special. And you do that to me. So I'm going to keep coming around until they kick me out. But you change people's lives, and you do it every day, and you do it for no thanks, and you do it mostly for no pay. And if you could, you turn down the pay if you could. That's what this is about. The question to the eternal question, am I my brother's keeper? Of course you are. And you demonstrate that each and every day. We're really lucky in the state of New Jersey. We have those great partners, and Claire alluded to the things that we've done. When the cliff was coming on SNAP benefits, we were already. It was there, you may know the SNAP benefits on the federal level was $23. $23. Raise your hand if you could feed your family on $23 in a month. We were going to 50, but the cliff came, and so we went to 95. And I think we're still the only state in the country at 95. We made the first food insecurity advocate in the country, still the first one, because what we did was, and if I will take a point of selfish privilege. The thing that I did do, and I think I said it in the thing, was help to make this a priority, because we can win this fight. It's an insidious opponent, right? We were fighting against food insecurity, and all of a sudden the pandemic came, and with it 2 million unemployment claims in the state of New Jersey. Just when things were starting to get back to normal, the unemployment rate is dropping. What happens? Inflation goes through the roof. And even the fortunate Coughlin still recognized that at the grocery store it costs a hell of a lot more than it once did. So now we have to keep fighting those fights. But every time we've had to fight the challenge, we have. We've keep up. Mark Dingleson was the fellow you saw it in the movie. If you don't know him, get to know him. Is our food insecurity advocate. His job is to bring everybody together so we're all rowing in the same direction. So we continue to move things forward and to make a difference in a coordinated way. We were talking about, Mark and I were talking about a little bit before, and the folks from Johnson & Johnson were helping. We've started to invest some in trucks, and you all know how important that is. I'm sure if you talk to the average guy, they say, what the heck are you doing wasting your money on trucks? Well, we're not wasting our money. We're making sure that people who really need it get it. We're making sure that produce and protein are the things that, which are often that people have to struggle to get to. We make sure that that happens. We're going to keep coming up with innovative approaches. I'm a little kid who grew up in South Amboy, paper boy, as I said. So whenever you get to weave in the fact that you were at the White House, you do it. So here's mine. About a year and a half ago, I was privileged to be invited to the White House by President Biden, who was the first president, by the way, in 60 years to say, we're going to beat this. He said, we're going to defeat food insecurity by 2030, and he's fixing to do it. Yeah, give him a round. And a point of personal privilege, please re-elect him so he gets to finish. And maybe I get invited back. Do it for me, okay? Do it for me. But in going through that meeting and listening to folks at the other tables, what I found out, you know, that we have breakout sessions and all that fancy stuff. What other states think of in aspirational terms, New Jersey looks at in its rearview mirror. And that's because we've made it a priority. And that's because we're going to continue to move forward. And that's because we're not going to stop. We're going to win this fight. You're going to win this fight. I get a lot of credit. You do all the work. I get all the credit. Let's keep that up. Works for me. Thank you very much. Hey, I want to especially thank, wait, let me do one more second of personal privilege. I want to especially thank my friend Bernie Flynn, who found, he did a great job at, he did a great job at the insurance company. And Mitch, I'm glad you probably, yeah, you don't want him back. You got the job. You did great. But I really think you found your niche. I really think you found your place. And you are a special person in that regard. Thank you for what you do. Thank you all for this incredible privilege. It is my honor to be here. Keep up the good work. God bless. Keep it all up. Thank you.
Yeah, we're not done just yet. Almost. I'm just looking to get through the squeaking part here. I will close things out. It has been a very, very special evening. And I want to thank Speaker Coughlin for his unwavering commitment to ensuring food security for our neighbors in New Jersey. He is truly deserving of the 2024 Mercer Street Friends Humanitarian Award. And I want to thank Claire Babineaux-Fontenot for her inspirational nationwide leadership. Everyone in this warehouse tonight is a soldier in the battle against food insecurity in one way or another, and Claire supports each and every one of us. Thank you, Claire. So I can't conclude tonight's program without thanking all of the outstanding staff at Mercer Street Friends, our Board of Trustees, for meeting our mission and lending a hand to our Mercer County neighbors, particularly our children. I want to especially thank our event committee tonight. Hey, this was quite an event. My Lord. The speaker's giving me credit. I really didn't have much to do with it. We had a terrific team led by Vicki Bixel, who was joined. Vicki, thank you so much for leading this effort. Members of the committee, Bob Holt, Ann Irwin, Pat Hartpence, Butter, Kira Williams, Nancy Jankowski, and Lisa Bruno. What a great team. Thank you. And point of personal privilege, I'm going to thank my family. It starts with Mom, 89 years young. My wife Ann is here, who's a terrific supporter of Mercer Street Friends. She's a volunteer and backs me up on everything. She thought I was a little bit crazy when I took on this responsibility, and she's been with me every step of the way. My Aunt Ann Kunzman is here, and my cousins, Annie James and Mary King. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for being part of this celebration in honor of Speaker Coughlin. It has been an amazing journey, and we have a lot more work to do. It is so comforting, and we're so proud that he's our leader in this state in our fight, and we have Claire Babineaux-Fontenot as our national leader in this fight. Thank you both so much. That concludes our evening. They're still serving both alcohol and food. Please hang around. Thank you. Good night.